Okay, today we're going to be talking about subtracting fractions, but before we get to subtracting fractions, let's take some mixed numbers here and turn them into improper fractions. So you have 8 and 2/9. Remember the rule is whole number times the denominator plus the numerator. So do you got it? What do you got? 74/9. All right, how about 5 and 3/7? Whole number is 5 times the denominator plus the numerator. So you have 35 plus 3 gives you 38/7. Very good. Here you have 9 and 1/6. Whole number is 9 times 6 is 54 plus 1 is 55. 55/6. Very good. Now we left off with adding fractions or equivalent fractions and adding. So let's start with doing a few equivalent fractions. We have 3/4 and we want to change the denominator to 12. So I have to ask myself, how many times does 4 go into 12? It goes in 3 times, and so I'm going to multiply on this one because I'm making 4 larger. So 4 times 3 is 12. Now I have to do 3 times 3, which is 9. Remember, whatever you do to the denominator, you must do to the numerator. Whatever you do to the numerator, you must do to the denominator. Now we have 4/18, but I want to make the denominator smaller. That means I need to divide. Well, if I divide 18 by 2, I get 9. So if I'm going to divide my denominator, I need to divide my numerator. And 4 divided by 2, right, 2/9. These are equal fractions. They are equivalent. Now when we add fractions, we have to have the same denominator. Well, here I have 1/4 and 3/16. I don't have the same denominator, so I need a multiple that's common. If I was doing my multiples of 4, I'd have 4, 8, 12, 16. Multiples of 16 would start at 16, so we'll use 16. So 3/16 will stay 3/16, but I need to change this 4 up here to 16. 4 goes into 16 4 times, so multiply by 4. 1 times 4 is 4. Now 4/16 plus 3/16 gives you 7/16. Let me put my equal bar over here. Here I have 6/13 plus 7/13 plus 2/13. I have all the same denominator, 13. All right, so I can add my numerators. 6 plus 7 is 13 plus 2 is 15. Now I ended up with an improper fraction. You have to solve it out. That's 15 divided by 13. So 13 goes into 15 one time. Subtract, you get 2. This will be my numerator. This will be my denominator. So my answer is 1 and 2/13. All right, let's get into subtracting fractions. Now with adding and subtracting our fractions, the denominator has to be the same. So if it's not, we have to find the common multiple and put it in there. But we have to have common denominators before we can add and subtract fractions. So let's begin. All right, so let's get to work. 7/11 minus 4/11. I have the same denominator, which is 11. So now I just needed to subtract my numerator. 7 minus 4, very good, is 3. So 3/11. Here I have 16/17 minus 9/17. I have the same denominator, which is 17. Now I need to subtract 16 minus 9. 16 minus 9 is 7. Right? All right. Now we have 5/8 minus 1/4. Can I subtract them the way they are? I hope you said no. And do you know why we can't? That's right, we need a common denominator. We have 8 and 4. So we need a common multiple. Let's go with 8. So 5/8 remains 5/8. But 4 goes into 8 2 times. So 4 times 2. 1 times 2 gives me 2. Now my denominator is 8. And now I subtract my numerator. 5 subtract 2 gives me 3. I have 3/8. Now notice I have some mixed numbers over here. We do the same thing. We start with the fraction. 3/4 minus 1/2. Need the common denominator. Right, so we need 3/4, stays 3/4. 1/2, 2 goes into 4 2 times. So 1 times 2 gives me 2/4. Now I subtract 3/4 minus 2/4 gives you 1/4. Now I subtract the whole number. 6 minus 2 gives you 4. 4 and 1/4. I am going to show you what happens when we have to borrow in subtracting fractions. It's very similar to borrowing in whole numbers, so let's borrow with some fractions. Alright, so before we get into the borrowing, let's go over a few things. We talked about equivalent fractions, so let's talk about more equivalent fractions. Alright, we know anything with the numerator and the denominator the same, like 7/7, that's 1 whole. And it doesn't matter if it's 10 over 10, 21 over 21, 100 over 100, 5 over 5. Anytime the numerator is the same as the denominator, we have 1 whole. Alright, so that's important to know when we go to borrowing here. Now, those all equal 1, but what if I need to borrow from 2? Well, first I need to make it equivalent to 2, and we get 1 plus 1 equals 2. Here's my 1, and remember 8 over 8 would be 1, so this is 1 plus 1. That gives us 2. Alright, so how do we get 3? Well, to get 3 we need 2 plus 1. To get 4 we would need 3 plus 1. Notice 3, and 11/11 is 1, so 3 plus 1. 5 would give 4 plus 1. What if I wanted like 32? Alright, so 32. Well, to get 32, I need 31 plus 1, and we can use any numerator and denominator as long as they are the same. So 31 plus 1 gives me 32. What if I had it this way? What if I had 14 and 6, 6? Well, 14 is 14, 6, 6 is 1, so what's 14 plus 1? 15. Excellent. And that's going to be really handy when it comes to doing these problems. If I had a whole number 1, and I want to subtract 5, 6 from it. Well, I can't take 5, 6 from thin air. Okay, there's nothing here. I need a fraction. Remember, my fractions have to have common denominators. Well, we just talked about what's equivalent to 1. So this is now a 0 plus 1, and we're going to use 6, 6. Why am I using 6? Well, because we need to have the same denominator, and this 6 denominator gives us what we need to use. So now I have 6, 6 minus 5, 6. Very good. I get 1, 6. What if I have 1 and I want to take 3/4 away from it? Again, I can't just take the fraction from thin air. So I need to give myself equivalent 0 plus 1, so that's going to be 4/4. This time my denominator is 4, so that's why I use 4/4. So 4/4 minus 3/4 gives me 1/4. Very good. Now, what if you have 3 minus 2/3? You can't take 2/3 away from the thin air here, so you have to make something equivalent to 3. And to get 3, you need 2 plus 1 equals 3. So let's go mark that out. I have 2. There's our 2. How's our 1? Well, it will be 3/3. And we're using 3 because that's our denominator. So now I have 3/3 minus 2/3 gives you 1/3. Now I bring down my 2, and I have 2 and 1/3. All right, let's practice another one. What if you have 7 and you subtracted 8/9? You have 7, subtract 8/9. You can't take 8/9 from thin air. Oh, what better? Yeah, let's do this. Let's go 2 and 8/9. Okay, we'll make it a mixed number. So we can't take 8/9 from thin air. So we're going to make something equivalent to 7, which is 6 plus 1. So 6, there's my 6, my plus 1 would be 9/9. We're using 9, that's their denominator. Now you have 9/9 minus 8/9 gives you 1/9. Now you have 6 minus 2, which is 4 and 1/9. You guys are doing excellent on this. All right, let's practice one more. I'll practice one more with you, and I'll leave you a problem or two to work on. All right, so we have 3 minus 1 and 7/10. Let's go with that. 3 minus 7/10. Can I take 7/10 from thin air? Nope. So I need something equivalent to 3, which is 2 plus 1. So this is 2. Now 1, we need to use 10/10 because 10 is our denominator. So 10 minus 7 is 3/10. 2 minus 1 is 1. Now let me leave you with a problem to do on your own. Let's see what we got here. Let's do, I'm going to leave you an addition and a subtraction. All right, so here's your problems to work on. Until the next lesson, we have 4/9 plus 2/3 plus 5/18. Now, they don't have the same denominator, so you have to come up with a common denominator first. I'll give you a hint. It's going to be 18. All right, in 5/18, it will stay 5/18. Now, it's very likely you're going to get an improper fraction as your answer. Make sure you solve that improper fraction. Don't leave your answer as the improper fraction. Your next problem is 10 and 1/9 minus 3 and 8/9. Now, can you take 8? We have a common denominator of 9, but we can't take 8 from 1. So I'll give you a hint. We need to make something equivalent to 10, which is going to be 9 plus 1, so that's 9. And our 1 is 9/9. We're using 9 because that's our denominator. Now we're going to add the 9/9 plus the 1/9. You're going to get 10/9 to start with. Now I think you can handle it from there. 10/9 minus 8/9. I'll give you the hint. Your fraction is 2/9. Now you just got to do 9 minus 3, and I'll see you next time. Like, share, subscribe. Have a great day.